Hello and a huge welcome to this video. I'm Scorpion from How To Do, and in this video we will be learning how to make 2.5D movement system, kind of like Mortal Kombat or Shadow Fight. In the end of the video we will be able to make this. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So we want to make a 2.5D movement system. For the movement system, of course, we will be using a 3D model of a character. Now you can make a 3D model by yourself, or if you don't want to make or you can't make, then you can go ahead and download this. I downloaded an Assassin 3D model which looks something like this. Now if you don't know how to download 3D models of the character, I will leave a link in the description box below, or you can click the card on the top right over here, in which I show you how to download 3D models from other games. So I downloaded this character from this website, Pack 3D Models, and he's from this game. Alright, we have this 3D model. It's already rigged. If you don't have a rigged character, you can go to mixamo.com, upload your character there, rig your character, and find multiple animations over there, but mine is already rigged. Make sure the rig is set to humanoid. This is really important, and once you do that, you have to simply drag it in our scene, and there we go. Here is our character. Now I already have set up the materials, so I'm gonna just drag in the materials real quick, and bam, there we go. This is our player. Go ahead and unpack the prefab so that it's no longer a prefab, and then let's go ahead and make a plane so that our player can stand on it. Let's go ahead and make a plane, reset the transform so that it's right in the center of the screen, 0 0 0. I'm gonna go ahead and make it bigger, just like that, and then we can go ahead and set up our camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring the camera somewhere, bring the scene view somewhere over here where I want the camera to be. I'm gonna bring it somewhere over here, select the main camera and say Ctrl-Shift-F, and there, as you can see, it snaps to the to this thing. Right, cool. Then I'm gonna go ahead and select the assassin and rotate it somewhat like this and position it up. So here is our character. The scene is set up properly and we are good to go. Now I already have this, so I'll delete that. You don't have to worry about anything. So I'm gonna save the scene and bam. So with the scene set up, let's go ahead and move on to the actual thing, that is setting up the animations. So as you can see, if you select our assassin, in here we can see there's an animator component. If you don't see this, you can go to add component and type in animator and you will find it over there. Okay, and just click it and there we go. It already has set the avatar to assassin avatar and you don't have to worry about anything. Now we will be needing to make an animator controller. So just right click in the project window, right click, create animator controller, and I'm gonna call this player. Alright, and then select the assassin, drag and drop the player animator controller in there, in that slot. Bam. Now if I go ahead and double click the player animator controller, it's gonna open it up in the animator window. If you don't see this window, go to window, animation, and animator animation, this one. No, not that one. Yeah, it's somewhere over there. It's somewhere over there. Maybe this one. Yeah. Once you open it up, as you can see, there is no animation in there because we don't have an animation right now. Now you will be needing 3 animations. One will be idle, one will be walk, and one will be jump. So you can basically go to mixamo.com where I told you to upload your character, and you can just simply real quick rig your character. And once you rig your character, I rigged this one. You can go ahead and search for idle animation, and you can find loads and loads and loads of idle animation. As you can see, there's a fighting stance animation, or yeah, loads of them. All right, so you can just select one that you like and simply go ahead and download this. I'm gonna say fighting, maybe, yeah, there we go, fighting idle. So you can find multiple animations. As you can see, this one, yeah, this looks typical Street Fighter kind of animation. This looks really amazing, and you can find jumping, walking, and all those in here. So yeah, once you download it, drag it inside of Unity and you will be good to go. I'm not gonna use these animations because I have an animation pack which is called Fighting AnimSet Pro, which is this asset, by the way, and it has 230 mocap animations for the fighting games. It's of $80. If you can, then you can simply buy it from Asset Store. You can also download it for free. Let me just tell you guys, you can go to free unityassetsforfree.com and you can just simply find this over here. Let me just go ahead and copy this, paste it in there, and you can find this exact asset in here and simply go ahead and download it from here. So it's no big deal. You can just simply click over here. Make sure you're using ad block, otherwise it will give you lots of ads. But here you can, yeah, download this, or you can download the animations from mixamo.com and yeah, bam. Okay, Once you have your animations, then go ahead and search for your animations. So I'm going to search for idle, and I'm going to go ahead and drag in the idle animation in there, which looks something like this, by the way. So he's just standing like that with the fighting stance, and bam. Okay, now with the idle over there, we want now walk. So let's search for walk forward, which is this one. He walks like that. He's really slow, so I'm going to use this one, which is a little faster. So bam, drag that in there, and now we have to make transitions between idle and walk, right? So right click, create, make transition, and make transition. If your walk is set to default state, which will look something like this, you want your idle to be the default state. So right click, create, set this to okay. Now we want to transition between these two states on some certain condition. As you can see, the condition list is empty, so we're gonna go ahead and make a parameter float, which will be called magnitude. You can rename it to anything you want, does not actually matters. Now the condition will be if magnitude is greater than 0.1, we're gonna move to the walk. If it is less than 0.1, then we're gonna come back to the idle. Make sure as exit time is false, otherwise it's gonna complete the whole animation and then it's gonna transition to the next animation. That is not what we want. Anyways, let's go ahead and play the game and see if everything is properly working or not. Meaning, if I go ahead and press 1, set this to 1, he's gonna walk, as you can see, and if I set this back to 0, he's gonna stop. So everything is properly working. Yeah, simple as that. Now we have to change the value of this float variable using scripts or coding. But if you are a subscriber of this channel and if you have seen any of the videos, then you will know that we don't do any coding in this channel. We use Playmaker. If you don't know what Playmaker is, then hear me out. Playmaker is a really cool asset that helps you make games without writing a single line of code. If you haven't heard about it, then it will change your fucking life, believe me. So yeah, just test it out. So you can simply download it for free. The link will be in the description box below. I personally will provide it to you guys, but if you wanna help out the developers, you can also buy it from Asset Store, which you should. But if you don't want to buy it, you only want to test it out, you can just simply download it for free. The link will be in the description box below. Drag it inside of Unity and import it, then install it. You will have this kind of welcome screen. So once you import it, you have to say install Playmaker, and then import it again, and you will see this tab over here and you will be good to go. Now go to the assassin and say add component and say FSM, which is basically Playmaker. But where the fuck is FSM? There we go. This is basically Playmaker. Select that and bam. Now if we say edit, this is the Playmaker window. Now when the game starts, we're gonna come in this state 1. Alright, so in here we're gonna go ahead and check whether or not the player is pressing the button to move forward or backwards. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and say action browser and say get axis vector, which basically means axis is X and Z, these axes over here, and these horizontal axis and vertical axis are set to horizontal vertical, which means WASD, so you don't have to worry about anything. Now in 2.5D game, we only want to move in the X. All right, so as you can see, here's the X. We don't want to move in the Z, which is this one. So we don't want to move like this. We only want to move in the X. So here's the X. We want to move forward and backward, up and down for the jumping, not in the Z. All right, so if we don't want to move in the Z, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the vertical. All right, vertical basically means Z axis and the horizontal axis means the X axis. Right, if you are confused with what horizontal is, then let me just go to edit, project settings, input, there we go, input. And in the input, you will see the first one is horizontal, which is set to A and D. All right, A and D, and vertical is W and S. So WASD, vertical and horizontal. So now we have to store the vector. Vector basically is the direction. So we're gonna store it in a new variable. You can rename it to anything. I'm gonna call it vec, and we're also gonna store the magnitude. So I'm gonna say new variable, and I'm gonna store the magnitude in a new variable called magnitude. Now we're gonna go ahead and say smooth look at direction. Smooth look at direction, which basically is self-defining. It's gonna smooth look at direction, and the direction is the one that we just stored over here, which is based on the pressing of the buttons A and D. All right, and now if I go ahead and play the game, you will see that he will look left and right on our pressing of the buttons, believe me or not. So if I press D, he's gonna look in that direction. If I press A, he's gonna look in that direction. Bam. As you can see, the rotating speed is really slow, so we can increase it to 10, and bam, he's gonna look quickly. So it's up to you how you wanna change it, but as you can see, it is properly working with these two actions only. He's doing that. So I'm gonna set the speed to 7, not 0, 7. And now let's go ahead and say change the value of this while pressing these buttons, right? So we're gonna say set animator float. So you can see this is a float, right? This is the animator, this is the float, and the float is called magnitude. If you don't see this over here, you can simply type it out, mag, just like that, and we're gonna set the value of this magnitude equal to the value of the magnitude that we just stored over here, this one, and we're gonna set this to every frame. Every frame basically means every second. With that done, I think we are good to go. With these 3 actions, see what we can do. So I'm gonna close this, and you will be able to see that we can move left and right. There you go. As you can see, he starts to move. If I release the button, he stops and does the idle animation, and there we go, he starts to move, bam, with these 3 actions only. Now if your character is not moving, there will be some problem. If your character is not moving, then it means your animation is not set to humanoid. So if I go back to the Fighting Animation Pro animations, in the movement or any animation, if I go to the rig, it is set to humanoid. So everything should be set to humanoid. If it is not set to humanoid, it's not gonna work. And then also go to the animation, like the walking animation, it is supposed to loop, right? So select the walking animation, which is this one, make sure it is set to loop. All right, so he's gonna continuously walk. He's not gonna snap back to his position and all that. Now this will take care of the movement. Let's go ahead and add in also a jumping animation. So I'm gonna go ahead and search for jump. Now you're gonna go again, again you can go to mixamo.com and find some good jumping animation. I already have these. So he's just jumping up. I want to make him jump forward, right? And not this one, nope, jump forward, yeah, this one. But I'm gonna use this one. As you can see, the cursor is also moving with it, which means the whole character is actually moving forward. So that is what we want. So I'm gonna use this animation. Okay, bam, drag it right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and make transition from idle to jump, walk to jump, and from jump to idle, just like that, and also make a jump to walk. Now we're gonna go ahead and add another parameter that will be a boolean this time, which is basically boolean is true and false. We're gonna call this one jump. If jump, oh son of a bitch, jump, there we go. So if jump is true, we're gonna go to jump. As exit time is false, make sure that, and we're gonna come back. Okay, we're gonna come back to that later on, but if jump is true, we're gonna go over there. As exit time is false. Now if you're gonna come back to idle, if jump is false, no, if magnitude is less than 0.1, which basically means we are not pressing any button at all, so less than 0.1, and as exit time is true. Basically we want him to complete the whole animation and then go back, right? So we don't have any condition, except we are making that magnitude is less than 0.1, which means we don't want him to go to walk, right? Yeah, understand that. And as exit time is true if magnitude is greater than 0.1, which means we are pressing some buttons, so we're gonna go to the walk. Simple as that. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to this guy over here, and let's just close all of these so that we don't have any mess over here. We're gonna go ahead and say get button down, which basically means when we press some certain button. In this case, we wanna go to you know spacebar, right, for the jump. So we're gonna go to edit, project settings, and input again. And as you can see, there is a jump over here. So jump basically is spacebar. If you want to add in your own control, you can increase this number by 1. In my case, it's 29. You can set this to 30, and you will see the last one is duplicated. Now you can rename it to something, change it to something, and you will be good to go. But in my case, I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna set that back to 29, and then we're gonna go ahead and simply call it jump, which is basically spacebar. New event, when we press that button, we're gonna go to the jump, right? Jump. Shit. Okay, so when we press the jump button, we're gonna go to the jump. And in the jump, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and say set animator bool. This time it's bool, right? And it's called jump. So just rename it to jump. Make sure, oh son of a bitch. make sure the spellings are the same, the capital letter and small letter, and make it true. Value is true, alright, which means jump is true. And then we're gonna go ahead and say wait for some seconds, I don't know, 1 second, 0.2, yeah, maybe 1 second, and then go ahead and say finished. Bam, I just did by control click over here, right? Control click on the stage, and it's gonna add and finished, and go back in here and copy this guy, set animator bool, and when we are in the start state we don't want him to jump, alright, so we're gonna set this to false, and it's only gonna get true when we press the space bar. It's gonna come in here, wait for 1 second, come back, and that should pretty much take care of the jumping. And you see how quickly we made the whole 2.5D 5D thing, as you can see. Okay, so there is a little problem that we are facing. He is jumping and all that, but you will see that there is no collision over here, alright. So if I just real quick add in a cube, 3D object cube, and bring it over here, it has the box collider, but if I play the game you will see that he will not collide with it. This is because our player does not has any colliders. So if I go here real quick, he's gonna go through it. As you can see, he is clipping through it. That is not what we want, right? So for the collisions, we're gonna go to the assassin, and we're gonna simply go ahead and add a character controller. Simple as that. And we're gonna set that up. So I'm gonna move the character controller a little up. I can't see it, so I'm gonna do that, and decrease the height, and bam, there we go. Now our character controller is set up. I'm gonna go ahead and play the game, and sometimes this shit will happen. As you can see, he is floating on the ground, little bit. We can clearly see it from here. As you can see, he is floating on the ground. So you can simply fix that by coming in here and decreasing or moving the character controller a little up so that he is grounded now, right? So copy this guy, and yeah, now if we go ahead and play the game and move over there, he as you can see, he is colliding with this guy. He's not gonna go through it, so he's colliding. And also if we jump, as you can see, he comes back to the ground. But there is now another problem, which is if I go on the top view and rotate and real quick jump, you can see he was here, right? So he just jumped over here. That is not what we want. We want him to not move in the Z, right? So yeah, there is some problems that we're gonna simply fix. The fix are real simple. I'm gonna paste the value first over here, just like that, and I'm gonna remove that for now. And yeah, let's take care of the Z problem, Z axis. So how do we do that is by going in here and say set position. All right, we're gonna set the position, this one, and we're gonna set its position in the Z, and we're gonna set this to 0 every frame. And I guess it is set. And I'm gonna copy this guy, paste this guy in the jump also, because we don't want him to move in the Z axis in the jump also. Alright, so I experimented a little bit, and you have to check mark late update also. Alright, just like that, and now it will work properly. Now if you play the game, he should not do that Z axis shit, and I hope we are good to go now. So I'm gonna come over here, rotate, jump, and you can see he does not. As you can see, this is Z, alright, and it does not change. It keeps on 0. Alright, so if it is 0, he's not gonna move in this direction. So as you can see, if I pause the game, move him over here, again, as you can see, he snaps back to the 0, which is pretty awesome. So he does not wanders about in the Z axis. That is pretty awesome. Now this is our pretty basic movement. Of course, if you have a run animation, you can add in a run animation. Let me just check it out if I do have a run animation or not. So I didn't have the run animation, so I downloaded it from mixmo.com real quick, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, it is set to generic, so I'm gonna set this back to humanoid, hit apply, go to the animation again, make sure it is set to loop time, and bake into pose, and this is red, so I'm not gonna do that in here, but everyone is green, so I'm gonna do that there. And as you can see, he starts running, and this shit looks pretty awesome. That amazing running animation. So I'm gonna go ahead and say apply, go to the animator, and drag in the running animation there, just like that. So it's called fast run. Amazing. Now we're gonna go ahead and add a transition from walk to run because we don't want to straightly go in there, right? So yeah, walk to run, simple as that. Come back over here to walk. Also we want to jump while we are running, so we're gonna go back there, and yeah, everything will be good to go. We're gonna go ahead and add another boolean. This one will be called run. So if run is true, shit. Okay, so if run is true, he's gonna start running. Bam. So as you can see, he's walking, and bam, he starts running. Okay, and if run is false, he's gonna come back to the walk. Of course, has existed time is false. Has existed time is false. And if jump is true, he's gonna go in there. Simple as that, right? Okay, and if you can come back, if run is true, we're gonna go back in there. So simple as that. All right, no rocket science at all, just simple transitions, simple conditions. Go to the assassin go to the assassin and close all of these. Let's go ahead and say get button down. Copy one of these. Where is it? Copy one of these, copy paste, and this time I'm gonna go ahead and come back to the edit. Let you guys know it is fire 3, which is left shift. All right, so fire 3 is left shift. Copy the name and paste it in here, and new event run. So whenever we hold down the left shift button, we're gonna go to the run. Add a new state, bam, in the running, and I will pretty much copy everything from here and simply paste it in there. All right, okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one because we're not gonna go to the run. We're gonna go to the jump, so just do that. And set animated float, we're gonna set animated boolean. Right, so I'm gonna copy this one, copy paste, set animated boolean. This time it is run, so rename it to run. Simple as that. We're gonna set this to true. Copy this guy, paste it in there, set the run to false. Copy, paste, set the run to false. It is run, not rum, son of a bitch. And also when we get button up, which means when we release the button, so get button up, and the button is fire 3, which is left shift. If we release the button, we are gonna go back to the walk. Finished. Simple as that. Now if I play the game, everything should properly work and he should do the running animation. Play the game. Okay, hold left shift and he starts running. Bam, there we go, and he also jumps. Bam, everything is properly working. I love it. Now as you can see, there's one little problem that he stops and then jumps. That is not what we want. We're gonna immediately go to the jump. So how do we do that? One thing I just figured out, make sure in the jumping state you just disable that, because that is gonna mess a little bit. Otherwise everything is properly working. So this is the basic 2.5D movement. So as you can see, he can walk, he can run, and he can jump. Everything is properly working. So I also added in a cube right in the center of the screen so that we can see if he jumps or not. So he jumps and bam, everything is properly working. Bam. Shit. This is basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then subscribe to this channel, which is how to do. That will really help me out. And hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos, because in the future videos we are gonna try to make a Mortal Kombat kind of or Shadow Fight kind of combat system, hand combat system, and also sword combat system and whatnot. So I'm gonna try to make that. If you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos. If you have any problems, let me know in the comments below and I will try to respond. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.